Hey everybody, welcome to the spot where we don't clickbait you and don't make stupid Instagram posts. Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat Show where we've got so much fun for you guys today. And joined with me, we've got German Dave, we have Canadian Dave, we have Ellie, the
got her
dog
all.
Ellie, not the actual Ellie. But guys, how are you?
Oh man, what an interesting couple
Hey,
days, eh?
What an interesting
it's been
24
a
hours.
busy week.
Like, I just... The amount of lollygagging I have seen in the last 24 hours, I think, is absolutely, like, hilarious. It's just, you know, unfortunately, the team isn't performing well. But you look at, like, for example, and this is something that we've experienced ourselves, right? Where we're looking at everything and it's like, you have articles saying that you've already decided that they're canning Allegri and they're doing this, and then we have other articles that say Gentoli is not canning Allegri. So it's like it's getting to the point where you have a bunch of people that are there, and I'm taking Dave's thunder here because normally Dave likes to yell at
No,
journalists.
go, it's fine.
But we're at this point where we have so much, I want to say, journalistic unintegrity. Like, there's no journalistic integrity in anything right now. Because, like, for example, you'll have podcasts or content creators post a big-ass thumbnail with a very clickbaity title and only cover the entire segment. Took them about 3.5 minutes. And even then, they offer absolutely no value to that segment. Where it's like, I understand that you want to, say, hey, this sucks, right? You have every right to say that. This isn't right. This isn't good. But when you make a title and a thumbnail about a subject, and then you offer no insight on the subject, which is kind of like, now you're just kind of trying to really, like, it's gotten to the point where we've gotten, like, a targeted audience or a targeted market base where to get more clicks or to get more views, you go to cater to the most obnoxious and most annoying part of the event's fan base, which is the Allegri outstands, as we like to call them. And the ones, and let me make this clear, right? Us three here, we're not Allegri in, we're not Allegri out.
Or
right?
what's best for the team stands?
What is the best course of action for the team to go through? That is where all three of us are very strong in our positions. You can say that we're playing the fence. I call it being objective and understanding what the hell's in front of you, because some of these arguments that I've seen from content creators, from journalists, and from people, and I like to call them journalistic, or essentially what they do is they telegraph the news from the actual journalist. So they're relaying the same fucking thing. There's no, like, they're not adding anything to it. And then you've got idiots that can't even understand how to read a message, and they post shit without even realizing that they're being cooked on the internet, which I thought was absolutely comical. Like, it's getting to the point where it's absolutely, it's just, there's no integrity in some of this stuff. And it's just like, come on, guys. Are we seriously trying to cater to something, even though it has no shred of actual objectivity? And then you're growing a toxic part of the fan base, and you're essentially giving them what they want. Did I miss anything in this monologue here?
Dal covers a couple points here as well, for talking about a specific thing. But I mean, we can just expand this past just one channel. Yes, it's everyone's doing the same cookie cutter shit. I don't know. I'm tired of it. You're tired of it. German
No,
Dave.
I can add a little bit of something to it. Do you remember the whole Christian Horner saga after the Saudi Arabian GP on Sunday night, where all of a sudden it was all over social media that Horner will get fired at Monday morning? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And do you remember what I wrote in the Discord? That none of the actual integral sources to F1 posted that. Like,
Yeah,
nobody.
that's right.
Whoever caught that or started that one, caught it from God knows who, and posted that shit immediately on social media, and it caught fire. And what happened? Neither Christian Horner got fired, nor Helmut Marko got fired. So
No, nobody got fired.
Yeah, nobody got fired. And honestly, right now, there wasn't any like news about it, and everything seems to have calmed down for now. And yeah, everybody's like just trying to clickbait everything, get reactions, get into discussions, and yeah, sort of these things that are completely against every rule of actual integral journalism.
I mean, everything's trying to clickbait you. This one I got caught today. It was a tech article, and it was like whatever app blah 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 goes dark. I'm like, what goes dark? And it got a dark theme is what it meant. And of course, it's right at the bottom. I'm like, scroll. Oh, fuck off! And then like I had to. It's like really, I got duped by that one. So like everyone is trying to do it to you, and I mean, everyone's valuable. I got caught this morning, and I like to take pride in calling bullshit on others.
Not getting.
I got caught.
Frankie coming in to stop by real quick, but he said he'll be back in 15 minutes. Yeah, and for me, it's just I find it really annoying because it's like, for example, you have Momblano that's going out saying, "Oh, 3.87%." It's like, dude, come on, man, give it a rest. We all know that you're it's like it's a trope, dude. Like, can we? And like, for example, and it's like, for example, even with Romeo Agresti saying like, "Oh man, it's for certain that they might look at a change," or dude, the only person, Jesus, Vlad. The only person that knows what's going on is Giuntoli. Has Giuntoli said anything? No. Has he released a press statement? No. He's not. He hasn't. So I'm getting really tired of like people saying, "Oh, apparently Correo dello Sport said this. Apparently Alfredo Padula said this. Romeo said this, and this." And it's like, dude, are we so damn bored of because it's an international break that they're just posting stuff just to get attention at this point? Because nothing's going to happen within the 2 weeks. If Malta does get signed, it's not going to happen until the end of May or after the Euros.
That point angers me so much. With either they have everything already signed and they have a coach, or they don't have one. There's no half-arsed answer right now for the club. So they have either decided already on who the next guy will be, or they haven't right now and will take on it at the end of the season. Nobody except of the club right now knows what is signed or if something is not signed. And every journalist that tries to pretend that he knows something, posts it on his socials. It's just nothing news for me, and it's just to get reactions to stay in the name of the public opinions, etc.
These people have to stay relevant. They have to put posts out every day, multiple times a day. So they fabricate things just out of nothing.
It is. It's honestly what it is, and it's getting to the point where it's nothing news or nothing tweets that it's going out there, and it's just like what else can you at least like? Oh yeah, it's like, for example, now it's like they've stuck on Mutta as the name, right? Because everyone else is kind of not done well. Like if anybody like
I
says
have a whole take on that.
You want to go for it? Go for it.
Yeah, and especially, I don't know if you're going with this, but with IFTV trashing on Allegri, even though every other savior that they presented has completely failed. Is that where you're going?
Oh no, I prepared a whole doc on the Motta point and who would I present like as an alternative, because like Motta is the new chick on the block and everybody forgot all the other names. You know?
Okay, yeah.
And I think actually Motta is not the best name that is out there. It's just he's the hot chick in the club that everybody tries to get into bed with.
It was like Zidane when Allegri left the first time. Zidane was like the hottest name on the block. It was Zidane. It's, for example, people still now aren't saying Zidane, but there's some people that still say it, which I think is a little bit blasphemy. But like, look. My only thing with Motta is the club willing to stick by him for 3 years? That is the biggest thing, because like, for example,
2+1.
No, like 3 years
No,
you're
I know,
staying
but
for 3 years
that's-
guaranteed.
but
like
that's
a
what
3
we heard,
plus
right?
1, right? A 2 plus 1 is not 3 years. That is if you fuck up the first year, you're gone. Like that's what that is. That there isn't we believe in you and we're going to get you what you need and we're willing to suck for a year at least while it's transitioning. That's not what a 2 plus 1 means. A 2 plus 1 means if you fuck up year 1, you're gone in the summer. No ifs, ands, or buts. You want to know who got a 2 plus 1? Andrea Pirlo. What happened to him? Sampdoria. Like that's the logic you have to take because, like, for example, I saw this one comment, or I listened to the IFTV bit, and the one thing that Anto made, and I'm a little bit like perplexed with how he was saying it because that to me tells me he doesn't really watch the games, and he commented on it. Allegri's holding players back. Chiesa's being held back. He's struggling, and Chiesa doesn't suit the position. Can you tell me what position, Anto, that Chiesa is playing for Juventus? Because I've got a heat map for the entire season where Chiesa is playing right now. On the left wing, where Mr. Luciano Spalletti, Mr. Coach, who's only won a Serie A title, but apparently people think that he's elite, who is going to flop with Italy, I'm telling you this, who says Chiesa needs to play more centrally. Does this look like Federico Chiesa is playing centrally in this image? This is his seasonal heat map. No, he's not. Because apparently they made the argument that Allegri holds this team back by telling them where they need to be and how they need to play. Allegri does not do that offensively. He doesn't. And why is Allegri afraid to play Yildiz? And another comment was made. Why was Allegri afraid to play Yildiz, Chiesa, and Dusan on the field at the same time? Because Chiesa cannot synergize with anybody that's on the field. When Chiesa's on the ball, or when Chiesa's on... Go ahead, Dave. Sorry, I'm yelling.
And no, it's all good. I didn't want to interrupt you. It's just... And the problem is if we put another offensive positional player on the field, we lose a defensive-minded player. Certainly, like from the midfield or one of our wingbacks, if we go for 4-3-3 or whatever the formation changes, no matter what we do offensively, if we add another player there, we lose all our defensive stability that we lost anyway since January.
Yeah, at least we got a bit of that back, didn't we, last game?
Yeah, we got a clean sheet
for one game.
So the other argument, this one was what Marco made. He said that Genoa came to Juve and they attacked Juve. It was one of the first few times that you can go to Juve and attack them. With what? A 0.19 goal, expected goals? 0.19, 2 shots on target, 5 shots in the whole fucking game? They attacked us? It seems like a team that bided their way for set pieces, that played for a 0-0 and hoped they got a set piece for a 1-0. That's what that looks like. Like, are we at least watching stuff before we're making this argument? Because 0.19 expected goals, that means you attacked the shit out of me.
Listen, Marco probably had the game over there watching with one eye and then jerking off to himself in the mirror with the other eye.
That's wild. That's wild. I would not go that far. But it's just...
Well, like, clearly he didn't watch it. He was too busy looking at himself.
He wasn't paying attention. Because when you want to say that Genoa is attacking, with what?
They didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything. They had
a decent defensive phase.
The only thing they were dangerous from was set pieces. Nothing else. There was
they only had a free kick
that Tex somehow saved. That was like a crazy curveball. It was like a deflection by one of inside the wall, I believe, and one was from a corner, and that's it. They didn't produce anything from in the open field.
Do folks understand what to attack in football is? That's where I'm starting to understand. Like I'm a little bit perplexed, because like for example, to have the audacity to say that, oh yeah, they attacked, they pushed Juve back, and blah blah blah, and it's like, dude, with what? With a barrage of corners? With a barrage of set pieces? Because you know what really low table teams do, and Udinese is a perfect example of this, is that you know how we lost to Udinese the same way we lost, or the same way Genoa played. Bide their time, and try to get something off a set piece or a loose ball. That's kind of how those teams play.
Yep.
So it's something where I understand, right? Like, for example, I can understand you have an issue with a coach, an issue with a player, and then you're able to justify it. But when you make a blatant comment when you're saying Genoa offensively came at Juve, come on, man. Let's have some integrity with stuff like that. For example, did Juve create anything really substantial against Genoa? No, we played like shit. We did. And can I hold Allegri accountable for saying he doesn't have any solutions right now to get the team to penetrate through the middle of the field? I have said that. I have held him responsible for that. But at the same time, I am also holding Chiesa responsible for not being a creative outlet, for always being a step behind or a step out of position. Yep. I've also held Dusan responsible for not being consistent on finishing, for not getting his head in the game when he needs to be. I've also held Locatelli responsible for not being that driving force in the midfield by taking a second seat to Bremer, who has less ball skills than Locatelli does, which I don't understand why Loca's shying away from the game. That's not by scheme. That's not by design, because if Locatelli's shying away by scheme, he's occupying a certain position or he's doing something. He's hiding behind his defenders. He's not doing anything. That's the difference. You have Chiesa, who's effectively neutered Filip Kostic since he's come back last season. Andrea Cambiasso at this point, everybody's scheming because they know it's Cambiasso that's going to do anything, so they throw two players on Cambiasso. So I can't really be that hard on him. Gatti is what you get with Gatti, unfortunately, right now. It's just, it is what it is. You either get his ceiling or you get his floor, nothing in between. Danilo, is there so much we can really throw on Danilo to do as well? Like, at this point, we're asking our back line to carry the entire roster. It's honestly it. And the thing that I hold Allegri responsible for is what happened to Yildiz. Did Yildiz do something wrong? Has he pissed you off or something? Is there a reason why he's not playing more consistently now? Because there is no way in hell you can sit there and tell me with an argument that Chiesa is lights out lockdown starter for that position right now with how Chiesa's performed. One good game against Napoli, nothing else. So that is where I do hold Allegri accountable for it, right? That is stuff that I hold him accountable. There isn't everything's peachy. Allegri's great. Allegri's this. No, he's made misplays. He's made mistakes. He's made poor substitutions, because I am not holding him. For example, I'm not holding him as this Jesus savior where he's, free from blame, free from fault. He is responsible for some things, but his players are also responsible because they're professionals. They are getting paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game. So the fact that apparently players are not responsible baffles me. Where you make a title saying, has Allegri ruined Juventus? Newsflash, since Allegri's been back, Juventus wasn't ever good. They never were. Unless you want to count the first half of the season where Vlad will even pull up the numbers for you, where they exceeded their expected goals against, where that defense was playing out of their mind. Because if you look at the expected goals against, Juve were well below that. They were expected to concede, I believe it was a certain number, and we were well below that. And now we've kind of gone back to where that actual expected goals number is to where we're actually conceding. And guess what? We still lead the league in most big chances missed. There's no difference in that. But when you start saying stuff like that, has Allegri ruined Juventus? What has he ruined? You mean, has Agnelli ruined Juventus? Has Paratici ruined Juventus? Has Cherubini and Arriva Bene ruined Juventus? Because those are better arguments than saying, has Allegri ruined Juventus?
Yeah.
Those are, well, no, those, you can't argue those. That's not allowed on Twitter. Only Allegri. Only. The only person I can give a pass, to an extent, a pass, is Giuntoli for this. Because he came in the summer because De Laurentiis was being a dick and didn't want Juve to actually strategize anything. He released him late. And then now he's dealing with a negative docket as far as money and the balance. So his hands were tied for this season. I can give him a pass. My expectation for him in the summer is to understand what the situation is, how to get to the final state of where he needs to be, and start making steps towards it. I understand it's going to take 2 or 3 years of Giuntoli before we solidly compete. For me, that's what I know, and that's what I think it's going to take. I don't think that this is going to be, we're going to win next year with Motta. If you think you're going to win the Scudetto next year with Motta, you are in for a world of hurt.
you are in for disappointment. Because there is no way in hell that man will be able to work that kind of miracle unless you give him 7 players that he needs, that he requests specifically. If you are willing to give him 7 players that he wants himself, then you can have that expectation. But here's what I'm going to tell you.
Yep.
Here's what's going to happen. 1 player that he wants is going to come in. 1 player at the maximum. I doubt that they will do an overhaul for him. They will tell him, here's Mota's expectations. Qualify for top 4, and that's it. Qualify for top 4, go far in the Coppa Italia. There's no Scudetto. There's no Scudetto requirement for him. This season, I personally had it at the beginning of the year because we had Pogba and we had Fagioli. So I was expecting us to be well. And then after we didn't get them, then it's kind of like, okay, we need to, because I'm responsible for changing the goalposts. I thought we could win the league. I'm going to be honest with you. Keep it authentic.
We both did.
We thought it was there. It was a possibility.
Hey,
And then we started. Yeah,
So there
we
you go.
thought it was
All
there.
3.
It's possible. But then, things kind of got out of our honeymoon phase and we looked at things objectively and it's like, okay, no.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, Scudetto winning teams, as much as I like how he's played, McKennie's not your biggest outputter in the midfield. For a Scudetto winning team, McKennie cannot be your best player in the midfield. Rabiot, we've been blessed with Rabiot playing 38 games this season. Unfortunately, this season, he's not doing that. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Locatelli, I don't know what the hell this guy has done as far as progressing his game forward even more. To me, it looks like it's the same Locatelli we purchased, just with a little bit more defensive capabilities. I haven't seen anything different. Nothing that I'm like, wow. Federico Chiesa has his head 5 inches up his ass. And if you want to tell me otherwise, okay, I'm just going to tell you, this summer in the Euros, you're going to be disappointed when he does not do anything for you.
I hope you're right, because if you're not, oh boy.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
You're going to hear it.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it is what it is. Because, like, for example, and this is clickbaity, right? This was clickbaity with the whole Chiesa thing, where I believe I shared it with German Dave in the Discord, where Chiesa feels that a move back, if he goes to anywhere else besides Real Madrid, Man City, and Bayern Munich.
We talked about that.
We talked about that, right? Yeah. So that doesn't sound like a guy to me that is desperately asking to play in a 4-3-3. Because if, Liverpool joins the equation, Manchester United joins the equation. If he wants to, prove himself as the best left winger in the world, he would want to move to be in a preferred position. But if you're coming out saying that, Chiesa only realizes that those are the 3 teams, everything else would be a move behind. First of all, you wouldn't even start for any of those 3 teams, barely make the bench, if anything.
Hell no. Hell no.
So it's like when something, and this is me being hard on Chiesa because I'm sure he hasn't said that. I'm sure someone's put words in his mouth. But, dude, like, is it fair to say that he's overrated? Possibly, maybe. I've given him enough leeway. People like to use the whole Del Piero thing with Del Piero taking a couple seasons. Guys, ACL restructuring surgeries from the 90s to the 2020s is a totally different ball game. Medical science is totally to a different ball game. The problem is Chiesa can't stay healthy with his calves, with everything else, and also he hasn't adjusted his game. Everybody knows how he plays. Every team in Serie A knows how he plays. So it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what else I don't understand, like, how, because, like, for example, the reason why I get mad at these certain Juventino that hold these players water without any shred of accountability. You guys know what I saw about, news, Dusan got fined $70,000 for yelling, for saying stupid shit. And the first comment, was Milik fined for his red card? There's a difference between a tackle and saying shit to somebody else.
And misbehavior.
There's a difference from that.
I can't believe
because
this.
Doing a tackle is part of your job description as a footballer. Unfortunately, he got a red card because he had terrible timing. But when you call the goalkeeper or the referee certain curse words, allegedly, That violates the Juventus code of conduct, and you're going to get fined for that. Of course, you're going to get fined for that.
Do we even know
got
what he?
fined.
Do we know what he said yet?
No,
at all?
we don't know.
I hope it was good. It better have been good.
It
I
better
want
have
to
been
know.
good.
So I can at least
better have been
clap
worth
it.
$70K. It would have been.
I mean, what's
it's
7?
gotta
That's
be
a
worth
watch
$70K.
for that guy. Who cares? Whatever.
It is. It's a new back massager for him. But it's like I look at this stuff and it's just like, why are we carrying the water for things? And it's so stupid, right? Because that same the same individuals will probably say, "Oh, Moise Keane made a mixtape. What a fucking loser." Where it's like, can we make this make sense, please? Like, none of this is making sense. I'm so confused.
I mean, Moise Keane making a mixtape on his side, even though he has a job, is like us talking about Moise Keane on the side because
it's me
we
doing
all have
this.
jobs.
It's me doing this.
It's the same shit.
Yep.
That's pretty
We're
much what it
pathetic.
is.
Dash, you're fucking pathetic. Go get a life.
Yeah, go back to engineering, Dash, because this is stupid. Like like we're getting pissed over stupid things. Like I just like, for me, my ideal state is I want a community where people can sit here and they can discuss things without sounding stupid or making stupid clickbait stuff or making stupid strawman arguments, because that you don't get anywhere. You don't get anywhere. And it's just like, do I think Allegri's a great coach? Yes. Do I think there might be a better solution out there? Also, yes. But you also have to supply that other solution with the tools they need to succeed. Because right now, with the current squad that we have, if nothing changes, it is a hard sell for me to believe that Motta would do a better job than Allegri. It's a hard sell for me to believe that Italiano would do a better job, because Italiano was touted as a guy who develops any player possible. Guess what? Our tour still sucks. And I said this Monday.
Yep.
So one of the things that coaches, as a manager, you need to understand, there's two types of managers in the professional footy sense. There's the managers that let it fly, and then there's the managers that dictate everything you do in your life, from how you fuck to how you eat ketchup.
Speaking of that,
Yep.
Frankie's back.
Hey, Frankie.
Frankie is back. Because Guardiola and Conte are so strict to the point where they tell you how to sleep with your girl or how many times you can sleep with your girl.
Yeah, you see him going out there like giving precise directions to his players.
Precise. Guardiola doesn't let you eat ketchup. That's how
Good
strict
for
he is.
him. That's
how
a
strict
man
Guardiola is on
that
his
is
team.
in my heart.
He does not allow his players to eat ketchup.
Because it's trash.
So now you need to look at it, and I'm going to tie into this, Frankie, because I know you tried to bait Frankie. I know what you're trying to do. That ties into the personnel that you have in your disposal. You need to understand, is this an experience issue? Like, do I need to have someone physically tell my players how to move and what to do? Which, in my personal opinion, I think that that's not a good coach. In my opinion, you shouldn't have to, because you're the cream of the creme. At Juventus, you should be the creme de la creme, the best of the best. You shouldn't need a coach to tell you what to do, right? Same thing with Real Madrid, same thing with Bayern Munich, same thing, fortunately, with Manchester City. That's what Guardiola does, and I'm guaranteeing you, once he leaves, that team nosedives. But when you look at the elite coaches, the Ancelottis of the world, you can throw Allegri. I think Allegri has thrown his hat. Zidane, all of those guys. Those guys, Klopp as well. Those guys essentially say, hey, this is your sandbox. Do what you need to do. All I ask in return is that you do this a certain way. That is what Ancelotti does at Real Madrid. He says, Vinny, Rodrigo, cook. Do your thing offensively. I'm not going to get in your way. Play to what benefits your style. That's why Ronaldo liked him. That's why Ronaldo liked Allegri. Ronaldo's gone out and said, Allegri's allowed me to do what I needed to do playing up top. When you play with coaches like that, they let you do your thing. They expect you to be a professional. Old school coaches expect you to be a professional. These football hipsters, these modern hip footballers or modern coaches like De Zerbi, essentially have a process map of how the left winger plays on his tactics. You need to go here, you have to do this, move here, adjust here, do this, do that. That is how De Zerbi coaches. I'm still on the fence of how Motta does it. I think Motta's tactically laid back. I don't think Motta tells people where to be and how to be there. I'm not sure, right? But like De Zerbi, Italiano, coaches like that will dictate where they move, how they move, when they move, how they eat, how they sleep, how many bananas they eat, how many cups of water. Those are those kind of coaches. Same thing with Antonio Conte. Conte is the same thing. So The problem when you have a coach like that, when their plan A is found out, they suck. When Luton Town found out how De Zerbi moves and how he positions it, guess what? Luton Town wins 4-0. When
Yeah.
Roma finds out how Brighton play, Roma wins 4-0.
We should play Brighton so we can win 4-0.
We should.
Oh, I don't want to face Brighton right now. Sorry.
So the only time you want a coach like that is when you have, and I do apologize because I have been going on a rant.
Yeah, you have. It's all right.
I've just been going.
Hey, go for it, man. Let it all out.
I got the garlic, I got the oil, I've got the salt, the pepper, I'm throwing in the celery, I'm throwing in the carrots right now. When you have a coach that does that, the only time you want a coach that does that is when you have a squad that's raw, that's inexperienced, that's young, that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, which is kind of us to an extent. Because I heard an argument. I saw an argument. Our squad is experienced. Okay. How many players on this current roster has won more than 3 trophies? I can answer it for you. 2 people. Alexandro, Chesney. That's it.
And
That's
Rugani.
it. And then you can I forget he exists. You can throw in Danilo, but
Poor guy.
Danilo, you can count Danilo's Real Madrid trophies and Manchester City trophies and etc. But I'm saying as far as like the actual people that were on the Juventus 9 in a row squad that have won more than 3 trophies that weren't there for the tail end. Rabiot was in for the tail end. Rabiot's only won 3 trophies. Supercoppa, Coppa Italia, Serie A. I said Danilo, Vlad. You can't throw that on me. You look at Chiesa, a Euro, a Coppa Italia, and a Supercoppa. Dusan, 0. McKennie, just the Coppa Italia and the Supercoppa Italia. Those are the only 2 trophies he's won. Cambiaso, nothing. Locatelli, the Euro, and he was a cameo player, not even the main guy. So you start to look at things. Maybe Filip Kostic with the Europa League in recent memory. So it's like you start looking at it, and it's not an experienced team. They're not experienced whatsoever. Carr says Dusan won MVP last year. That's a trophy, I guess, if you want to consider EAFC MVP a trophy. But they, and this is the funny thing, right? Do we count? And this is me being genuine or generous with giving them the preseason trophies, right? Because it's a preseason trophy. It's a Super Coppa Italia. Who the fuck cares? It's a joke, anyways. What the idea is like they haven't won much. They haven't won anything really. So it's like that to me screams of a team of inexperience. It's not a team that knows how to be.
And the problem is, if you have an inexperienced team that hasn't won anything, and those players that you call inexperienced are 26 years old or 24 years old, they should be right bang in their prime right now and should be performing at their highest level. Injury or not injury. If you have an injury, like when did Chiesa sustain his injury? At 24 years old, I believe, the ACL tear.
Yeah.
Then he had 1.5 year, 1 year recovery, and he started playing like late in the winter last year, I think. He returned to the
like
squad.
End of March.
Yeah.
Around the Coppa Italia time.
He should even before that performed way bang in his prime, but he didn't. Okay, his numbers were better, definitely, but we also played a different formation. We had a different squad, and now we rely on him to be the main producing guy. Back then we had like who did we all have like as creative players 2 and 3 seasons ago, you know? And now that we rely on him actually producing, he is showing that he can do that on a consistent level. Okay, he has like one game where he finishes from outside the box, hitting 30-yard or something like that. He has those, but when have we seen him the last time doing a beautiful cut, playing off one of the winbacks, laying it off to Vlahovic or to Milik or to whoever the strikers. When have we seen the last time beautiful combinations and creativity?
I want to say there's been little moments, Yildiz, for instance.
Yeah, but that's what I say. There's no. You can't
There's no
rely on Yildiz.
consistency.
The dude is 18 years old and played like 5 games.
Yeah, no, and I know, and that's the thing.
He should
That's
be
a
the guy
problem. I'm trying to give credit
he's
where
the
credit's
guy
due,
that
but there's not enough.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's
like Yildiz is the guy that you throw in for like we did for half an hour, see him produce some magic, and he immediately won the spot over Chiesa as an goddamn 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing that we need to also look at as far as like Chiesa too is he popped off when he was third fiddle, where Ronaldo was the main guy, Dybala was the second guy, and then he was the third option, or technically fourth because Morata was on fire that season. So he was the least of everyone's problems defensively back then. Ronaldo occupied 2 players. When Paulo was playing, he occupied a player. Morata scored 20 goals that season. Not in Serie A, but in all comps, in all competitions. So it's like Chiesa popped off. He was given the ability to pop off because he was the fourth option. He was the fourth option. He wasn't the main guy. And it's like I see this argument. Chiesa wants to make sure that he's back to being the center of the project. The dude's always been the center of the project. He just sucked. Like that's the issue. He's still the center of the project, but he's either not available or not in form. Dusan's not the center of the project. Never was. It's always been Chiesa.
I don't think anybody's the center of the project.
There shouldn't be, right? There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be a center of the project. So Vlad brought up a point with SMS. SMS is experienced in age and playing in the league, but SMS has only been in 1 title race his entire career at Lazio. 1 title race, and that was against Maurizio Sarri. That was the only time that they were in a title race. So would I look as SMS for title winning experience, a champion mindset? No, I don't consider him as an experienced guy for that. He might be an experienced veteran of Serie A, which we can have that argument, and that's fine. But when it comes to like the experience that I'm looking for experience in contention and contending for titles. Doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. And predominantly, most of our team don't have it. Besides Sandro, besides Rabiot, if you wanted to be kind and give it to Rabiot, hell, DeScilio has more experience than most players, and DeScilio came in 17-18, and he's won only 3 Scudetti. And that's DeScilio's trophy case. But it's like, there was comments in the chat where people were saying about not having like an actual leader on the field, which is true, right? That's there.
There's a whole lot of lack of leadership throughout the ranks, right? Like everything's being turned over. And clearly what we have, whatever was left after Chiellini left, honestly, is really when it happened. Buffon, Chiellini, that era. What was it? Bonucci? Was it Rabiot saying it was because he said he was? I mean, nobody has truly shown the leadership on the pitch. And Allegri yelling at the sidelines can only go so far. You do need that guy on the pitch that is going to try to sort some shit out. And there's guys that have a little bit of that. I mean, Locatelli was trying to sort out Chiesa there on the weekend. But at the end of the day, there's no like that guy on the hill holding the flag saying, "This is my team. Let's go, boys."
It's not there. It's not there. There isn't strong personalities to pull everyone together.
Look, Real Madrid bought every single great young prospect they could find, whether it was the French league or in the Spanish league, even in the Bundesliga. But what they did is they paired them with some of the most experienced players. Kroos, Modric, even Carvajal is still playing. They didn't sell Sergio Ramos immediately. Like they had the perfect mix of youth, young physicality, and the old guy that needs to be carried, of course, by the youth as well. They had the perfect synergy that we haven't been able to build yet. Hey, Vlad, yeah, we both of us thought of Tony Cruz there, and I would love that, of course, but he will he will never do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see him moving to us. I would say he wants to stay.
And also,
A
you
pipe
would
dream.
have to rebuild the whole midfield
Yeah.
around him. Like he barely does any defensive play. You would have to have like two defensive minded guys behind him. I would love it, of course. Like there's barely any more productive or creative player than Tony Cruz, but yeah, I think it's wishful thinking.
Remember, we got to work with who we have at the moment, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
And the last thing I kind of wanted to touch on that we didn't cover on the video was those guys made a comment in their video or their podcast about Juve should just, or Allegri should just let the guys play. Who cares if they lose? Just let them play, feel comfortable and confident. I'm still baffled by the fact that people don't understand the fact that financially Juve cannot afford not finishing in top four, which is why
Yep.
letting the kids play, letting the people play is not an answer. It's not a solution. It's not
But
financially feasible.
That's not how
But
that's
it's-
not how football works. It's just dumb thinking.
We just criticized him for. I mean, we've continued. People have continued to criticize Allegri for his like more hands-off approach. So in a sense, Allegri is just letting them play. The problem is that he needs to give more direction. Isn't that what we just went over?
That's exactly. That's why it's contradicting points. And like the same thing with Mota as well. Mota comes in, if he doesn't make top four, he's gone. So he better hope that those guys can learn his system quick. And this is kind of the thing, right? Where these players have, and this is where it's a little bit frustrating because the players technically have the leverage over the manager. Because the players are like, shit, we can get you fired if we don't finish for top four, so you better not piss us off. Because this squad has the capability of finishing for top four. They do.
Yeah.
But now it's like they have that leverage where it's just like, hey, you want to see us make you lose your job? Here we go. We'll drop next to 4 games. Because players are fickle like that. They are. And like, for example, everyone's on this De Rossi Express right now where someone made a comment in that show where they're like, oh, man, you know, they need a Del Piero as a manager and that'll kick the players in the ass. And it's just like, if Del Piero wanted to coach, he would be coaching right now.
If he wouldn't be anywhere near Juve,
He would be.
he
there.
would be.
I'm like, I understand he's a legend. And like, for example, people are protecting that man way too damn much. If he cared, if he wanted to be there, he would be invested into it.
He
Not
cares
wait-
about his family.
Yeah,
he
he
devoted
doesn't-
how many years to football? Let him live his life.
Leave him alone.
And by the way, not every great player equals a great coach.
Pirlo
How
and
many
Xavi.
great players have? How many great players have we seen like handed already Champions League trophies and just crashed?
It's the shitty like second, third division players that make good coaches typically.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
remember Terry Henry as a coach? The streets remember. That's why he's at
Maradona as a coach.
That's why, yeah. They say that's why Terry Henry's changed his objective from being a Champions League winning coach to winning Kate Abdo. That's where his objective is right now.
Hey,
Right.
he lost even that one.
I know he did. Even with Micah Richards and Jamie Carragher trying to help him, but yeah, I don't know. Like we have other articles, but I think this just kind of took the cake as far as us just kind of addressing
You took the
clickbait.
cake.
I did.
You took it and run. None of us got a slice.
I know. I'm selfish. I'm gonna stop talking now.
Oh man. Yeah, no, it definitely needs to be said. I'm surprised it was you that just went full Dave on it today, but I mean, go for it. I just got to sit here, relax.
Look, and I don't have issues with people, right? Like for my things, it's not that. It's just please, guys, do your homework.
Don't
Like-
be dumb.
Just do your homework. Stop feeding into the mob.
You are the problem otherwise. You are the problem. You're feeding it. You're the biggest English-speaking CALCIO content creator platform out there. If you feed it, they will eat it because they are sucking off your teats.
it's
Oh
it's
yeah,
one of those things. You make a title, you make an
and of other
image, and
body parts.
yes, spend more than 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes on it. Like actually dedicate like a nice 10-minute segment where you have a discourse, a breakdown of ideas, some solutions or something like that. When you're just like Juve bad, blah. Like, come on.
No, the problem is there are so many of these channels that have no idea what is going on at the specific club. They just see that we haven't produced since the end of January. They freak out. They want the clickbait articles. They know the fan base is on fire, and everybody wants to watch them spew their shit into the world, you know. And those channels are the most dangerous because they don't know what they are speaking about because they don't know anything about the club itself.
And like,
They
if you
don't know the
wanted, look,
finances. They don't know the tactics. They don't know that our players are dumb. They don't know that the guy that we want to play actually is second striker, but doesn't. He plays left winger, like they say they want him to play. He does that, but they don't know that because they don't have any idea what's going on with the club actually. And
no,
those
they're
are the
not.
guys that our own fan base listens to and that dumps down our own fan base.
Well,
Man,
I
and
have
now
an
I'm
example.
sounding like I come from Germany from the 40s.
Um, God. Here's just an example of what we're talking about.
Are we reacting?
No, but this is a, a journalist, a content creator, what have you, in Provinciale. This is the thumbnail we have, right? So it's a little baity, you know. Why do we got to be like this? We don't
I
got to
think
be like this.
my thing is like when you're a large platform and you want to cover something like this, and this is why I love Sousa from Rabona TV. Whenever he makes any Juventus-based video, the first person he calls is Beppe. The first person he calls is Beppe. Beppe is either advising the video or in the video with him. And like, for example, that is something that you call integrity. That is because he's like, I'm not an expert on this. I don't know everything. Let me ask the guy that knows everything, right? Where it's like for them, for that post or that video that IFTV did, you could easily ask Giuseppe, hey, can you give us a 30-minute snip? Can you give us a 2-minute clip, a 3-minute clip? It's just lazy. They just don't want to do their due diligence. Because, like, for example, if there's anybody, and I'm not even saying people should ask us, right? If there's anybody that has that objective, that more corporate take, or that take that that will give you a good understanding of the situation, it's Beppe. You ask Beppe when you make a video like that. Because Beppe will tell you how it is, and he will be fair, and he will be objective of it. He's not going to clickbait. Yeah, he's not going to do that. Like, that's the thing that surprises me. But you have one guy that's on that panel that's a self-proclaimed Juve fan that I don't see it, that didn't even do his due diligence, and he's getting paid to analyze games, to look at games. I mean, granted, that's why his betting record on that show is absolutely atrocious, and he's lost the most money out of everybody on that cast. But
So is that how it works? Once we get paid, we don't have to try anymore. Is it like once you get married, you don't have sex anymore? Same idea.
In the U.S., yeah.
Well, is it different? You think wives are different outside the U.S.?
I don't know. That's what I'm told. That is what I'm told from Passport Bros.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
By the way, as a small fun fact, FODMOB lists Chiesa's main position as striker and secondary left wing. So they're telling us we played him out of position.
Well, to be fair, FODMOB's track record isn't exactly phenomenal.
But their stats and everything are on point.
Yeah, they are. Because I saw a comment about Roma. Because De Rossi is starting to get glazed really badly. I am going to feel so bad for him when his, vibes and good feels.
When he pulls an Italiano and a De Cherby and everything else, after like IFTV proclaims him the next coming of Christ, like all the other previous ones.
Yeah, like that's going to, because to be honest with you, I really think that De Rossi is being carried by Lukaku, Dybala, and Pellegrini. Like,
even though he wants to get rid of Dybala.
That's Tote that wants to get rid of Dybala.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Totti, I kind of like it was funny because Totti was like, how can I build a squad on a guy that only shows up for 15 games? And all the Dybala stands started being like, no!
Love it, though.
It's the same
By the way,
thing we
he has
had.
been pretty healthy the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
So,
Couple of weeks.
I just find that funny that there's another sporting director that says, hey, I don't know if I can trust this guy to be healthy when I need him. But when you look at like the tandem, like for example, with Roma, midfield, arguably better than ours. Like say what you want about Paredes, but he's been around. Dude's been around and he's, you know, I hate saying this without throwing up, but helped Messi win a World Cup. You have Paulo Dybala, you have Lukaku playing up top that is an ideal main striker, second striker pairing.
Yep.
Ideal.
Yep.
And then you have
Yep.
a driving midfielder behind him, Pellegrini. And then you have Houssem Aouar as, you know, a wild card in the midfield. That's a better midfield than ours. If you want to tell me that Roma's midfield is not better than ours, I am going to ask what your dealer and supplier's name is and ask that for that stuff. Because it is
And also their striker duos.
a lot better than ours. The only thing that we might edge them out is on defense. That's it.
Yep.
He
Yeah,
probably
that's-
won't be.
Yeah, he usually is
probably
not
won't be.
available.
No,
Usually his teams.
absolutely. That's not the question. It's just he has been fit for this run that everybody glazes De Rossi for.
Yeah, and you want to know who they've played in that run? So the only hard team that they've played is Fiorentina. So De Rossi's incredible run. So it goes.
And Fiorentina
from-
was a tie, I believe. They didn't win.
Yes, they didn't win.
Ah,
So they played
I see.
Inter, or when De Rossi came in, they played Cagliari. So they won 4-0, lost to Inter, tied to Feyenoord, beat Frosinone, which Frosinone has no fucking defense. Tied again with Feyenoord and only won by penalties. Beat Torino 3-2, beat Monza 4-1, beat Brighton 4-0. Tied against Fiorentina. Brighton return leg doesn't really count. They get a pass on that one because they already won 4-0. And then
Yeah,
won
they
1-0
were-
against
they
Sassuolo.
already checked out.
So their next matches are going to be Lecce, which I think they should win, Lazio, AC Milan, Udinese, AC Milan again, Bologna, and Napoli. Let's see how well they do in that stretch before we start, calling
Yep.
De Rossi as the next amazing coach. As people like, and I hate that's such a stupid title. The guy wins 5 of his 6 first games, and everyone's like, this guy's an amazing coach. It's because nobody has film on him. Nobody has his
also,
tactics down.
And also, maybe he will be a great coach, but stop glazing them like that fast. Just let it play out. See what he can do. Like consistency is always key, and not the little splashes you show.
All right, guys, let's move the show on because there's a lot of other juicy articles to do here as well.
We didn't want to clickbait. That's why.
Wow, no,
Hey,
there's
do
no
you
click.
want
We
me
do
to
the
go
same
off
shit
on-
every Wednesday.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Jesus.
Do you want me
just-
to cook on my last coaches suggestion I have and comparison,
You want? Yeah. go
or
for the rocket
or you
thing,
want to
yeah.
do that later?
No, cook
All
it.
right, so I just I came with the flamethrower today, and just wanted to call all the community out on its hypocrisy. So
Okay, so Dave's
let
going
me
after
talk
it
to
now.
you.
All right.
All right, so the guy I want to mention gets completely forgotten, got disrespected, the poor guy, just because there's a new chick on the block, everybody forgot about him, and honestly is completely hypocritical, because everybody wanted this guy to prove himself. He's now in his 3rd year of coaching. And yeah, I think it's a pretty easy one to figure out but I can, call out or pick out some of his stats, and you tell me if he's a better option than Motta or not. So he picked the team up in 2021. right after they were 14th, took them from P14 to P7 to P8 and is P8 currently right now. So he improved them immediately, and I think on Dash look I immediately saw he knows what I'm talking about. He improved his his first season was trash, but he took a team that was on P14. He conceded 51 goals that season, improved to 43 season goals against him last year, and is at 33 right now. So he improved on that one. And his offensive output has stayed the same. Like on every single season, he was about his first one, he scored 59 goals, but because he played a goddamn high press with barely capable defenders, and that's why he conceded the 51 as well. He went then to 53 goals, and he's at 41 goals right now. The guy made the conference league final last year. He's in the quarterfinals right now against Victoria Pilsen, so he has international knowledge and experience as well. He went to the Copa semis in his first season and lost against us. He went to the final last year against Inter, and this also in the semis again right now versus Atalanta. So you tell me if he is a big game coach. He made it to some of the big games. And I think, and maybe even Dash agrees, if we want actually to change something, that this style may be the biggest change, that this would be the only change the community would accept, because I think all of us agree that sorry, but Motta will be pragmatic, and everybody will again say, my God, what a boring style of football. Do you agree with me or not?
Yeah. No, 100%. You're essentially taking Allegri out and you're switching for a younger Allegri.
Yep, that's it. And now this guy, I think, plays the most progressive style in Italy, and the closest one to, I think it's fair, that his style is closest to the Premier League. And he plays a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. Can drop an offensive midfielder, or can even for some games drop he can play the offensive midfielder, can change it sometimes into an 8 instead of having an out and out 10. So I think actually he has pretty good chemistry. His tactic is pretty spot on most of the time. He plays the high press, high defensive lines, physical and quick defenders, and imagine how Bremer would fit that. He is quick, he is fast, and actually I think he grew his defensive IQ really a lot this year. He would be great, I think, in that formation. Danilo has the intelligence to read the game, take the ball a bit forward with having Bremer, and I think even Locatelli would fit that, because he can drop from midfield back into the back line, let the fullbacks cook, and you would have the defensive stability that way. You would have 3 defenders back all the time, and his fullbacks actually would play high overlap with the wingers, create a lot of chances, and with improved defense as a combo. Yeah, and the guy is at the perfect age of 46, not too old, not too young.
That's how old you like your men, is it?
Hey, fight beer,
No, I think you're right? Italiano is
and Dash going to your point before, he is a micromanager, and I actually think that our goddamn dumb players need a micromanager who tells them what to eat, where to stay on the pitch, and everything, because they won't figure it out if you give them a playing style where you want them to cook, because they will cook shit if they don't have the correct directions. And give this man the job, give him money over a course of a couple of years, of course, and the man will do wonders. And the most important point, he's born in Germany. Case closed.
That's total bias, but okay. It's a fair argument, right? Italiano is a fair argument to have for that. Like, I think right now with what you have on Italiano, and for me, I've said this before, right? I said until he fixes his defensive inefficiencies, he will never coach a big team. Seems like he's getting there. Because, like, for example, on average, the only teams that have conceded less than 30 goals are Bologna, Juve, and Inter. Everyone else has conceded over 30. So my only thing is obviously I can give him a slide because Fiorentina's offense is not the greatest on paper.
Not at all.
Not at all. They suck at scoring. However, he cannot, make players put ball in net. However, you give him Dusan and allegedly this generational Federico Chiesa, you should be able to get more. If not, we just sell Chiesa and bring in Orsolini because Orsolini is like the de facto number one winger in Italy right now. I said it. Get mad. Look, I don't have an issue with that. That to me makes more sense than if you were to bring in Motta, right? Because he's pragmatic. He's not. There's no style. There's no style of play. It's just counterattacking. If your players can't do what they do, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
But Inter's doing that as well, right? They're
No,
just
my point is
scoring a lot of
just
goals.
where's the same energy for Motta? Like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, my point is just where's the same energy for Motta? Everybody said, Italiano's not proven. He didn't show us anything. What did Motta do until now?
They're just
okay. He
they're
has
just seeing what he's doing with
Bologna
Bologna.
fighting for the Champions League. Well, yeah.
It's because they
But
spend all
I
their
think
historical.
the same argument should work for him.
Listen, these Juve fans that are looking at this, the only history they want to see is the goal from Pirlo from 8 years ago. They don't actually want to look at the historical records of coaching stats or any of that. They don't actually want to do the hard history work. They don't want to do the research. They just want to feel nostalgic. And this isn't nostalgic, and this is why they don't see it.
Yeah,
this is why you got to lay it out for them.
You got some Juve fans that don't even know the amount of caps that Lichtsteiner did for Switzerland.
Well, I don't either until I look it up. But at least if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point proven there. But
especially if you do an episode like
episode dedicated to
or
it.
specific to that topic, then you should have looked up the stats. But sorry.
Yeah, no, they Google searched it, looked at the first thing that was there without even understanding that was outdated 3 years ago. But I digress. Dave, do we have any other things you want to cover for this?
There's some stuff. There was some stuff today. So I'm gonna go up to the top of the list here. We were making fun of some jerseys. The Canadian jerseys real bad. Oh, the Turks. That's right. Where's that article? Yes, Fenerbahce. I'll bring up this article here for you guys. We'll talk about this. This has been earlier in the week.
What a crazy game.
Did you watch it? Or you just saw some highlights? Essential. Okay, here we go. So, FIFA President Gianni Infantino.
I saw all the after match stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's probably like a NASCAR race, right? You just wait in Turkey. The most exciting part is when the fight breaks out. So, Trabzonspor fans invaded the pitch after Fenerbahce's late 3-2 away win in the Turkish Super League. Visiting players, including Mishay Buchayai, were seen clashing with fans, including one who charged with a corner flag. Gianni Infantino described the scenes as absolutely unacceptable. So, yes, it's just more from Turkey. It seems like every month there's always this league is out of control. In fact, now that I'm thinking of it, we should maybe get the Lions Den up for another episode on this one.
We should.
Yeah, let's see if they're not too busy.
Yeah.
Those guys in the Netherlands. Oh, hold on. What did Average Chiesa Enjoyer say?
He just does anything that slobs on Chiesa.
Oh, yes. That's right. So, yeah, there's that. How crazy. So, Dave, you watched some of it. Like, what was your reactions? Like, you see some of the scenes here. Here's the guy with the corner. I'm not actually showing it. Why didn't you tell me? Yeah, here we go. The guy with the corner flag. This is the best. And he's got spikes out, right? Like, spikes are out.
When in Istanbul, guys.
This is wild, absolutely wild, and also crazy. And I hope like nobody got seriously hurt, especially if they were just innocent bystanders, because that would be absolutely horrible. But man, spikes are out. Dave, any other comments on that other than she's crazy?
Oh no, I just want to pay my respect to Michibatsui, the Belgian guy that just high kicked a guy that tried to attack a teammate of his.
Oh, man.
Maraj is asking us about the Atserbi situation. So apparently his lawyers 5 days. I'll touch on this for like.
There's actually a whole bunch of stuff on this that Frankie just posted in.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I have some fun facts on that one.
Okay.
I think Dash wants you to say them.
You know, Acerbi got sent back from the national team, and he arrived at the Milan train station without like a spokesperson from the club, without a lawyer, without anything, and all the journalists were waiting there on him, and they were asking him, is it true?
Oh, he froze.
He froze.
He froze.
Froze. Okay, well, until he comes back here. Here's just street art. There's street art about it.
Go ahead, Dave. You froze for a minute. So you said he stopped at the train
Sorry.
station.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
just popped
Sorry,
this
sorry.
up while you froze. Sorry.
oh, sorry. No, he arrived at the Milan train station, and all the journalists were standing there and waiting for him to arrive. And they were asking him like, why did the national team send you back? Is it true that you said something? And he just flat out said, yeah, it may be right that they sent me back.
Well, here's the thing that came out. His lawyers or Inter came out and said he told Juan he would beat him black and blue.
Is that
Who
Really?
says that?
black and blue? That's like something you
That's
say when
horrible
you're
trash
sex.
talk.
Well, black and blue is just like I'm gonna give you black eyes. The bruising. That's all it is.
Maybe
Maybe it's
black
the
and blue is an
Inter
intercolors, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, and there's that. I don't know. More on it from Morten Bering. The Inter-influencer, Fabrizio Romano, always
He's
posts
just catching
about...
strays recently. Romano's just been getting strays
By the
everywhere.
way,
Yeah.
I completely agree with that one.
So Fabrizio Romano always posts about racism in football. Magnan, Vinny Jr., Upamecano, Lukaku. However, there has been radio silence in the case from the weekend when Juan Jesus was exposed to racism. Tell me, which club does that Chirlaby play for?
I was waiting for Nemo to start, waving the flag of racism like he normally does, but he didn't.
I stopped following him because he's gives me too much anxiety, and I don't need that.
No, but they are right. No, but
Go ahead.
they are 100% right. Do you remember after the Copa semifinal against us when Lukaku with this penalty and we had that racism issue? Dude, Fabrizio did 17 stories about that one.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Where's the same energy now?
Now, this isn't a surprise. We know they're racist. Inter's Curliver North have released a statement on social media saying they back Al Chirby after he allegedly racially abused Napoli defender Juan Jesus. So it's just like, yeah, we support your racism. At least like say we support you in like your whatever your rehabilitation, or like we support you still as a player. However, we can't support your race. No, we just blanket. We support. So no surprise really. That's Cliver Nord from Milan. All right. Do we have anything else specifically on that? So Vlad actually made a comment. You gotta touch on Allegri if using to condemn racism as well. Is there an article on that? Or is this just you pointing out that he never actually condemned it? Because I guess does everyone have to go and publicly condemn it? I don't know if I think he's got his own issues
Do we
to
have
deal
to-
with right now.
Do we have to
otherwise.
condemn it right now?
I think it goes without saying. Like we've publicly condemned it already, but it's just
Oh yeah.
we're just gonna keep on repeating.
Is there
ourselves?
is there proof that he said it though? Like, is there like actual proof, or are they just going off of what Juan said himself?
Well, apparently
They
did.
picked it up somewhere. Someone picked it up somewhere. Because I think there is an investigation on it.
I believe the situation was he said it to the referee that Acerbi said something, and the referee, I believe, said it to the federation, I believe, and that's how the investigation started.
So the referee heard
So
it.
I think that was the chain of conversation, I believe.
I love his use of adjectives here, Hefe. Romano is getting consistently cumstered ever since Mizak talked about it on stream.
I know. I remember when Misak went off on him, and then
The Asians. That one.
So Yusuf is saying that he did actually voice. Okay, cool.
Oh, that's cool. Because I mean, last time this is the one that pissed me off about him because I think it's doing a disservice. But it was about the Portuguese youngster Negorino, and he's like, "I'm not even going to say that name." I'm like, it's just his name. But you like publicly announcing that you're not going to say it is kind of like saying that it's wrong, and it kind of makes you look racist. Like it's just the dude's name. It's Portuguese. It's a different language. It doesn't have the same weight as it does in America, for instance, or in the West. Like, just chill. It's a Portuguese name. But anyways, that's, you know what I think about him. Anyway, so, yes, they asked him post-game. Did they? Okay, well, I was walking my dogs.
Misak, to answer this question, Misak is sleeping. He is 8 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, he's, is it 11?
He is
Where
probably now, yeah, it's like 4 or 5 in the morning over there.
He's, yeah, something like that.
He catches us on the replay.
Yeah. He does. He does comment, as you know, too, in the Discord, which we have not even put up yet. So let's do that. Discord time. Scan that up. Get in the Discord. I'm looking at it right now. So, in fact, I will share, because I have to do this every so often, see what an actual Discord looks like. Some people don't even know. This is a Discord. This is the Tinfoil Hat Show stuff as well, the channel where everyone posts their stuff. You can see I just post that one up. Frankie usually likes to come in hot. So we have all these. This is basically just for Wednesday's night show, this one channel. Of course, we got the general, all our YouTube channels. We post all the news.
We got Vlad posting the big old cock. No.
Yeah, there's like some other more X-rated stuff as well, right? But I mean, there's a bit of everything in there. If you don't want to go down shenanigans way, you don't have to.
Also, just to iterate for folks that have not been in there, conversations are actually pretty good.
Yeah, and as soon as the Allegri out comes around, it gets torched, as we saw this week. Can I find that? Let's go up.
That's far up, I think, in general.
Right, there it is. There it is. That one didn't last long.
Oh yeah, and then David went off, like me, Dave.
Yeah, so I mean, we have fun anyways. It's pretty simple. There's no name calling or any of that, but we definitely go at it. So get in there. It's fun. You know, about 100 members in there. We play. We used to play pro clubs when it was cool. But no,
Just everybody got busy, unfortunately. We'll try to get back on it.
Of course, Formula One, all that stuff, right?
So Parabale says, guys, honest thoughts on IFTV Serie A knowledge. I completely understand if you don't want to answer the questions. It can come off a little bit nasty. So, let's do. I'll do the diplomatic answer. So, like for example, this is just kind of talking about the way that they talk about the game, not the characters. The guys, they're probably really cool guys outside of it. I've never met them personally, so this isn't character assassination. It's not character slander. The issue that we have is some of the lack of due diligence that's done, right? This isn't me saying these people are idiots, they're dumbasses and blah, blah, blah. No, it's just you can tell by certain things that are covered, certain things, how they're explained, there is a lack of due diligence. I don't want to say that people are stupid, right? It's not saying that they're stupid. It's more so you're covering certain things, but you're not covering them correctly. You need to do a little bit more research onto it, right? That's one of my main gripes is, right, when you make a title, you make a thumbnail of a topic, and then the first thing you open with is Genoa absolutely attacked at Juve and they went at them, and then I pull up the stats and it's completely the opposite.
You don't even
So-
need to pull up the stats.
You don't even need
if
to
you
pull up
just
the
watch the
stats.
game, you know that's not
If
true.
you genuinely watched it, you could make that art. You can make
And
that
heat
assessment,
maps.
right? And heat maps. Oh God, that's a trigger word for me. That's where I have, and this is where we kind of have the gripe with is, right, is just more as and intentional negligence. For us, it's more so about negligence of covering things, and same thing goes for journalists. Same thing for the journalists too,
Yeah.
and the relay news pages,
Yeah.
right? Like the pages that relay that they're just like, I just relay the news. I don't really like. Come
I
on,
don't
man.
know what I'm clicking on.
I don't know what I'm
saying.
saying.
Get
I
me
don't
ad
know what
revenue.
I don't know what I'm reposting, but I'm just gonna relay this. Where it's just like, to me, that's a terrible excuse to hide behind something. You want to share it because it gets clicks and it gets people to comment and do interactions on your post, even though you have no genuine interest in whatever is being said or how it's being said to question it, right? So like that's really kind of the things, right? And yes, they could be biased, right? It could be biased.
But you have to expose your biases to yourself and
Expose
potentially
it.
even to your viewership
And
so
tell
they
your viewers.
understand.
Like, for
Yes.
example, how many times have we said for certain things we have a little bit of a bias here? It's
Obviously, we have a Juve bias, right?
we have
Like,
a Juve bias.
that's clear. Now,
But-
if I had to work for
Yeah.
a neutral company, I might have to change the way I speak, but my bias is still going to leak out.
Yeah. So like that's kind of what it is, right? We're not character assassinating. We're not going out and telling the world
I
that
can
they're
do that though. That's so easy to do.
You could. We're not going out and, slandering people's character and integrity like that. We're not doing that. That's not the idea of this discussion. This idea is we're taking the arguments and we're breaking down the arguments and questioning them. That's kind of what it is. So they could be very intelligent, very awesome, incredible human beings after. So you can't clip me out of context, people. The only issues that we have is the way that they're explaining their things, the way that they're talking about things. It comes off as not doing due diligence. And that's the issue. That's the only issue that we have. Do your due diligence.
Yep, and don't feed the masses just because it will make you richer. There's something called what is it? An ethos. There's an ethos, right?
Yes.
To doing these kinds of things, and whether
No,
you realize it or not.
especially in journalism when you're sorry.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
no. Oh, I'm agreeing. Yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
like
Jeremy.
especially in journalism when you're went to sorry, I'm cutting out a bit again. No, I'm
ahead.
just saying, like, if your job is to spread information, you have to do that, like, there's actually a code of honor for journalists that they have to share information, write articles or whatever, and go completely by the truth, like, because journalism is actually dangerous. It impacts opinions and everything. Like, you can go from politics to, like, or of course, like a little bubble of in sports. But journalism is actually a pretty, like, it's very important in the society and in the world we live in. And if we just go by everybody can write and post whatever he thinks without doing any factual research or his due diligence, then it will end up like shit, and it will end up manipulating the masses, what it does, like in our sports bubble right now, but also in politics and everything else.
Well, yeah, and now podcasting, because people can hide behind, it's just a podcast. There's just three guys taking an opinion. Podcasting now is a form of informal journalism, whether you want to admit that or not,
Yep.
because you're having a conversation. You're stating stuff that's either based off of a statement, a fact, an opinion, or something. So, like, for example, someone that we used to collaborate with that did a podcast, we would always stress the fact you need to have your due diligence done. You cannot just throw shit out there unless you are making a disclaimer saying, hey, I'm throwing shit out there. None of this shit has any evidence towards it. This is me just throwing off a conspiracy theory or a theory in general.
It's
You
just my
need
opinion. That's
it's
all
just
you
my
have to say.
yeah. You don't want to sit there and just because here's the thing, right? Anybody can go on YouTube, anybody can do this. And the thing where if you have a big audience, you owe it to yourself and your audience to do your due diligence because now you're misinforming a mass of individuals. And now you're creating a hogwash of just people that are just following your word for gospel. Because, like, for example, how many times have people turned off their commentary streams to listen to Dave do his watch alongs?
I
Lots of people
appreciate
do
it. You
that.
guys are nuts, but I love you.
People do that. So that's why Dave is very, very anal on what he says and how he says it.
Very rarely watch sports with any commentary because none of the commentators today, like here in Germany, especially, for example, don't know their shit.
And here's the interesting thing between European commentating and some commentating in the U.S., right? Where I look at it and it's so bland. Ball gets passed, player passes this. Where it's like, for example, certain commentators, really good commentators, tell you a story. They have a side conversation while the slow parts of the game are happening.
Could I
You don't
show
see
you
that
a
now.
horrible example of it? Vlad just brought this in. This is a horrible example of presenting. a
Why does he
message.
look like he's doing the Zig Heil?
Why do you fucking
Oh
think?
man,
Because that's the message they're trying to portray. They're not actual report. Max Allegri this afternoon refused to give a message against racism. He said
dude,
there's no message
this
and left.
is
We have no context. We don't know what happened before, what happened after. We don't know anything. They're just saying he did not want to say anything about racism, and here's him doing
dude.
Nazi salute.
This one should actually be flagged or something. This is crazy actually.
And he's probably saying calma, calma. Is really what's going on there.
Like honestly, with that caption, with that picture, well, like
No,
he definitely tries
they
to
purposely
frame him.
It's absolute trash. This is
this
crap,
isn't-
and this is the
this isn't-
shit that people are digesting.
This isn't DAZN that did it. This is simply Goal that chose that image.
This is that guy. I mean, go to the zone and we look up if there's something like that. We can go through it live.
That's probably a few days ago now. It's
None
gonna...
of this is available in our location.
None of the video would be, no. Unless I put a VPN, which would kill my stream, so that's not happening now. But, I mean...
Ah, man.
That's not it.
Yeah, and that is the trash which we try to fight against.
I can't believe, and this is on Simply Goal because DAZN didn't pick that image. It was Simply Goal that
So
did.
when they wouldn't,
I
the
don't
zone
know,
is not like that.
100%. 100% the zone with its corporate structure doesn't post stuff like that.
The fact that Simply Goal used an image of like illustrating of Allegri doing a Zig Heil is out insane to me.
That is crazy.
Like,
That, honestly, in my opinion, that should be flagged and completely yeah.
Because like for example, it's taboo to do that in Germany. Like it's frowned upon if you do any kind of pose like that in Germany.
Yeah. It's taboo all over the European Union.
It's pretty much taboo anywhere. Like, let's be honest, in most places, you just don't do that.
No, you're right, but there are actual European Union laws that you can't show the sign, you can't show any National Socialism flags or the I don't know what's in the swastika sign and everything like. They're completely forbidden here.
Mm-hmm.
And for
if
him
anybody
to take
does,
that,
fine.
And for him to take that, first of all, framing the Zone Italia so that it looks like they posted it, and then trying to post Allegri with that text. He tried to frame both. Incredible.
Yeah, it's trash. If anybody can find the DAZN Italia, the actual article, which writes it out. I mean, I don't want to waste everyone's time here live, but if anyone can do that on the side, we'll pull it up. But yeah, that's the kind of shit that's been tweaking me the past couple days.
And I think we honestly, I was reading some of the stuff in the Discord channel. I think we covered a good chunk of everything.
Yeah,
only
there's
thing
a
we
good
didn't-
chunk.
We didn't cover Capello, but Capello was saying the same thing that we made the argument, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Capello isn't. I mean, this is the one time I actually
he agreed with
agree
us.
with
I know.
Capello. Yeah,
He's like, you need more than just a coach.
I said Capello's a knob. Then I read the article. I was like, he's not bad this time. He's okay.
He's only partially knobbing.
Yeah. The one topic that we should honestly, of all else, at least touch base a little bit on, because there's just mostly speculation on it, but the spy files. I know Beppe covered it pretty well. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got like what, a 20-minute video on it.
Yeah.
So if you really want to go into the weeds, I recommend you look at that.
I also saw, if go to the Juve Reddit, and I saw it. I don't know if that was just a direct translation. Here, I'll find it.
And he
again.
covered this in his live stream again, also last evening, I
last
believe.
night. Yeah.
Okay, just give me a quick sec, and I'll just show you where you can get it at Reddit. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm not finding things. I had everything ready, and then I clicked it all off. This is embarrassing.
What a travesty.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. I mean, Reddit is a super like designed web page that isn't completely just black and white, right? No, this is. Fuck, I clicked on the wrong one. This one, which is not showing. Oh my god, this is a travesty. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Juve spied. Here it is. So it is a big article. Juve spied on all the details of the shocking plan targeting the team. So it's 3 large paragraphs. Kind of goes through things. Starting, they're talking about when Suarez was trying to get a passport, doing the test there in Perugia, which, funny enough, we mentioned there the other night. Just going on how there's been moles within the team and leaks, and going into Cristiano Ronaldo, and how there may have even been an attempt to stifle the plans to sell him. Man, there's just so many little tidbits of information. But at the end of the day, it's a Correa dello Sport article. So I don't know how much of this is actually true. However, seeing as it is the tinfoil hat show, this is probably exactly one of those times you put a tinfoil hat on and dive deep into this one. Because, I mean, I wouldn't say any of this here is proof, but it's certainly enticing, and it can certainly get you going down a rabbit hole. So I encourage everyone to read that there. You know what? I'll link this. I'm going to link another reason to get into the Discord. I'm just going to link it in there for everyone, just right into the general there, so everyone's got it. So there it is. Get in the Discord. I'll pop that up one last time, and we can continue that discussion there, honestly, because it is more speculation, and it's not. None of it is real, or it's all real. Who knows? It's if I had a dog that didn't eat my tinfoil hat, I'd be putting it on. Yeah, Fiji and UEFA Mafia working together. But I think we otherwise did cover. We covered all the good points. There's a lot. We're sorry if we didn't get to all of everyone's little points there. I definitely read them. There's just a lot this week, guys. So much. But on that note, Dash, Dave, do you got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Dash is
talked too much.
Just to all the Motta stands, keep the same energy for the guy you want as a coach, and expect him to gain some experience as well before trying to push him into the role of one of the goddamn biggest clubs in the world.
You know, and this is kind of an aside, but Juve related. Remember at Bianconeri Zone when Justin was still working there?
Yeah.
And he was always like, Big Z energy! That's
For Zaniolo.
For Zaniolo, yeah.
For Zaniolo. Oh my god, I remember those.
Yeah, that's the kind of energy we need.
I would kind of just like, oh my god, I used to fuck with him all the time because of it. I'd be like, no, that's little Z, bro.
Big
No,
Z.
it's Big Z. It's Big Z. I missed that guy,
Easy.
man. That guy was fun to mess with. But
He was fun, yeah.
yeah, let's have that big Mota energy, that big M.
Big M. And from here, the 3 big D's. Well, speak for yourself anyways, but oh man. Dash, take us away.
So he's asking, we don't know, to be honest with you, Perbale, we don't know. Because Dave and I didn't really directly work for them. We would just collaborate with them from time to time.
Justin's working on actual radio. Julian got a kid.
Oh.
That says,
Yeah.
I mean, there might be more to it. That's what I know.
And by the way, before we close, I will screen share all the F1 sessions on the Discord. Who wants to watch?
Oh, beauty. F1 coming up this weekend. There is no Juve.
Like from practices to qualifying. Yeah.
All of it. Another reason for the Discord. It is the Australian GP weekend. It's time to get hyped because Ferrari is going to win by getting second because that's the best you can do these days.
And on that note, from us guys, we just want to leave you with this.
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
There you go, Vlad. There's our contractually obligated Lukaku. All right, guys, we'll see you.
Good night.